Am I audible to all? Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we shall wait for 1 and 2 minutes to join others. After that, we will start our class. We just want wait for 1 and 2 minutes. Then after we'll start our class. Is my screen is visible to all?
No, sir.
Screen is visible. I just want to share some PDF, that is the Frobenius method. Yet it is not visible. Is it visible right now?
No, sir.
Okay, wait for just 1 minute. I think it is visible right now.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Now we are going to start the method of Frobenius. For previously already we have done when the given cell point x equal to x0 is a ordinary point. Now when x equal to x0 is a regular singular point, then we have to use the method of Frobenius. Frobenius said that if the given point x equal to x0 is a regular singular point, then let y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity n x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n, where obviously e naught not equal to 0. This is called the Frobenius method. Frobenius give this series for the solution of ordinary differential equation when x equal to x0 is a regular singular point. So here we have to let that y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity, or someone maybe write down that some m equal to 0 to infinity n x equal x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n, where a0 not equal to 0. It should be notified that a0 not equal to 0. With the series solution of the PDE, that means partial differential equation, it will be not PD, it will be OD, ordinary differential equation. P naught x d2y dx2 plus p1x dy dx plus p2x y equal to 0. This is told by Fubini. So as y equal to this, so if we take the first order derivative of this, then this part will be coming dy dx equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity n. This m plus n will be coming into the first part, m plus n x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n minus 1. And as well as if we take the second order derivative, then it will be coming d2y dx2 is equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity n m plus n minus 1 into x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n minus 2. So we got by this Frobenius method, we have to let that y equal to this. After that, we got dy dx and d2y dx2. Now we are substituting all those values in the original differential equation, that is this equation number 1. If we put the value of d2y dx2, dy dx and y here, then we got substituting these values in 1, we got an identity. Then the coefficient of the lowest power of x from both sides, we get a quadratic equation in M. This equation is known as the initial equation. So when we equate with the right hand side the lowest power of x, then we got one quadratic equation in M, which is known as the initial equation. Next, equating to the coefficient of general power, that is x to the power m plus n or x to the power m plus n minus 1, whichever may be the lowest, we get a relation between n minus 2 or n minus 1, which is called the recurrence relation. When the recurrence relation is between n and n minus 1 or n minus 2, and a1 will be determined by the equating the coefficient of the highest power to 0. Then already used for the getting the initial equation, this step is not necessary when the recurrence relation is between n and n minus 1. But when n and n minus 2, then obtain the coefficient of 3 in the term of n and get a series solution of 1 having a0 as the arbitrary constant. This is called the actually Frobenius method. As the obviously this solution is not the complete solution of 1, as the complete solution must have 2 indices arbitrary constant, then method to obtain the complete solution depends on the nature of the initial equation. So nature as initial equation is a quadratic equation of m. So suppose we are taking that the value of m, quadratic equation m is m1 root of the quadratic equation of m are m1 and m2. If the root m1 m2 of the initial equation are distinct and not differing by an integer, they are distinct, they are not equal and not differing by an integer. That means if m1 equal to m, then m2 must not be m minus 1 or m plus 1 or m minus 2, m plus 2, then 1 must be the fraction. If there one of them is fraction, another is integer, then difference between the given roots of the initial equation not differing by an integer, then the complete solution is given by y equal to c1 y m1 plus c2 y m2. Is it clear? Roots of the initial equations are distinct and not differing by an integer. That means one of the root is integer, another is fraction. Then the difference between these two roots are not differing by an integer. Suppose if m1 equal to 2 and m2 equal to half, then difference between them is equal to 3 by 2, which is not an integer. That is told here. If the roots m1 and m2 of the initial equation are distinct, so 2 and half they are the distinct and not differing by an integer. So difference between 2 and half equal to 3 by 2, which is not an integer. Then the complete solution is given by y equal to c1 y m1 plus c2 y at m2. Now second part, if the roots m1 m2 of the initial equation are equal, then the complete solution, if both are equal, then c1 y m1 plus c2 del y del m at m2. C1y m1 plus C2 del m del y at m2. Now case 3. If the roots m1, m2, where m2 greater than m1 of the initial equations are distinct and differ by an integer. If we say that m2 equal to 3 and m1 equal to 1, then m2 minus m1 equal to 2, which is an integer. Right? Then consider the following two sub cases. Number 1, if sum of the coefficient of y series become infinite when m equal to m1, then replacing a naught by b naught into m minus m1 in y and getting complete solution. When we are taking the example, then it will be clear to you people. Then solution y equal to c1 y m1 plus c2 del y del m m2. Here the solution corresponding to m equal to m2 is a constant multiple of the above solution. If one of the coefficient of y become indeterminate, then m equal to m2, say then the complete solution is given by putting m equal to m2 in y, and which can contains two arbitrary constants. The solution obtained by putting m equal to m1 is a constant multiple of the above solution. So these are the rules. So some cases is given. So these are the Frobenius method. So by this Frobenius method, we have to take that y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity. This is the main thing, y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n. Obviously a not equal to 0, where x equal to x0 is a regular singular point. Already we know that what is the ordinary point and what is the regular singular point. So from here we can get it. After getting that y, we find out dy dx and d2y dx2, then put it here. Then we got one identity. Then we have to equate with the lowest power of x and then next lowest power of x. Then we got the recurrence relation. From this recurrence relation, we got the solution. It is the Frobenius method. So it is important to solve the Bessel's equation. So now we are going to solve the Bessel's equation. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
How we can find out? By this Frobenius method. Here we have to take that maximum solution as y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity. Then we have to take all those things. So this is the way to find out the roots of the initial equation. So for the initial equation will be the quadratic equation of m. So m must be given two values. These values must be either in real and equal or real or distinct. When they are real and distinct, then there is another thing is given, that whether they are differing by an integer or not. When they are not differing by integer, that means one of the root must be integer, another root must be non-integer, that is fraction. Then we can get it. So when we got this, the roots of the initial equations are not equal, unequal, as well as they are not differing by an integer. That means one of the root is the integer, another root is the fraction. Then our solution is given here. What we can do? Then the solution is given here. Look at here. Then our solution is y equal to c1 y of y at m1 plus c2 into y at m2. Here c1 c2 both are the arbitrary constant. Why here two arbitrary constants are given? Because of that our Bessel's equation was the second degree ordinary differential equation. It was starting from d2y dx to dy dx and y. So as it is the second degree equation, so after solution of the second order ordinary differential equation, in our solution we got the two part. One is C1, another is C2. These are the two arbitrary constants taken here. Is it clear to everybody? If someone not getting the point, then they can ask me the question. Is it understood by everybody? Hello? Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Is there any
Hello, sir.
ambiguities? समझ में आया?
सर क्वेश्चन का प्रैक्टिस कहाँ से करेंगे?
पहले ये बताओ, ये तुमको समझ में आया या नहीं?
यस सर.
आया समझ में? Then you can explain it. तुम बोलो तो क्या समझ में आया? हेलो, तुम्हारा समझ में क्या आया? हाँ, तो थोड़ा समझाओ मुझे. हाँ, बोलो बोलो.
सर नहीं आया समझ में.
हाँ?
इतना अच्छा से समझ नहीं.
So now it is given to everyone who understood. He or she can explain here. Is there anyone who want to explain it here? तुम लोग को समझ में आया? कोई एक आके समझाओ मुझे क्या समझ में आया. Please do it first. Hello. Sujit Hemrom, is this understood by you?
ये नो सर.
No. Muskan Dubey, is it understood by you?
No, sir.
Muskan Gupta, is it understood by you? Muskan Gupta. Kanhaiya Mishra, is it
No,
understood
sir.
by you? Huh?
No, sir, because I joined because sir,
You
I missed
joined-
a lot previous classes.
It is not from previous classes. It is a new one, which I have told right now. It is new one.
Sir,
It
I
is
joined
not
right
a-
now. I'm
right
not.
now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then again I'll told all of you, and then you
Okay,
have
sir,
to
please.
understood. You
Please,
have to
sir.
understood, and then you have to explain it to me. So here the method of Frobenius is given. Previously already you have solved when x equal to x0 is an ordinary point. But when x equal to x0 is a regular singular point, then by method of Frobenius we have to solve the series solution of the given differential equation. In this method, Frobenius told us, let y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity n x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n, where obviously not equal to 0. This one is the first one. We have to take y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity n into x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n, where a not equal to 0. Be the series solution of it is not PD ODE. P naught x d2y dx2 plus P1x dy dx plus P2x y equal to 0. As we got the y, then after taking the first order differentiation, we got dy dx. So dy dx should be n into m plus n x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n minus 1. And as well as we got the d2y dx2 summation n equal to 0 to infinity n m plus n, then m plus n minus 1 into x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n minus 2. Now we putting the value of y dy dx and d2y dx2 in equation number 1, this equation, in this equation. Because of that, here d2y dx2 dy dx and y is present. So in this equation we are putting the value of d2y dx2 dy dx and y. Then we got one identity here. Then we have to equate, substituting this value in 1, we get an identity. Then the coefficient of the lowest power of x on both sides, we get a quadratic equation in M. If we equate the coefficient of both sides of lowest power of x, then we got one quadratic equation of M, which is known as the initial equation. As it is the quadratic equation, so after solving this quadratic equation, we got the two roots of this quadratic equation. As it is in terms of M, so we suppose say that they are the M1 and M2. And this equation, quadratic equation, is known as the initial equation. Next, equating to the coefficient of general power, that is either x to the power m plus n or x to the power m minus n, whichever may be the lowest, we get a relation between n minus 2 or n minus 1, which is called the recurrence relation. When the recurrence relation is between n and n minus 1, then correspondingly we got all those things. But when it is relation between n and n minus 2, then one gap will be there. So we have to determine the a1. Is it understood what we have to do? At first, we have to check that whether the given point is an ordinary point or regular singular point. If it is an ordinary point, then in the previously stated method, that is the direct method, is applied. If it is the regular singular method, then according to Frobenius, we have to take y equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity n x minus x0 whole to the power m plus n, where obviously a0 not equal to 0. After getting this, we have to find out dy dx and d2y dx2. Then we have to put the value of y dy dx and d2y dx2 into the original equation, that is p0 x d2y dx2 plus p1x dy dx plus p2x y equal to 0. After putting the value of y dy dx and d2y dx2 in equation equation number 1, we got one identity. Then the coefficient of the lowest power of x, if we equate the coefficient of the lowest power of x in the both sides, then we get the quadratic equation of m, which is known as the initial equation. This quadratic equation involving m, so after solving this quadratic equation, we got the two part of m, that is m1 and m2. Next, we have to equating the next lowest power. First, equating to the lowest power, then next lowest power. Either it is m plus n or m plus n minus 1. Then we got one relation either between n and n minus 2 or n and n minus 1. This is called the recurrence relation. From this recurrence relation, we got all those other values, but here a0 not equal to 0 is given. If the relation is given between n and n minus 2, then one thing will be not done. Because of that, n equal to 0 to infinity. But when we got the recurrence relation n and n minus 2, then we have to start n is equal to 2. Then we got one relation a2 and a0, but a1 is not stated here. When the recurrence relation is between n and n minus 2, E1 will be determined by equating the coefficient of the next higher power to 0. Then already used for getting the initial equation. This step is not necessary when the recurrence relation is between n and n minus 1. Because of that, they are the consecutive, n and n minus 1. N minus 1 is the first and n is the second. But here is the gap, n and n minus 2. N and n minus 1 is not there, so we have to determine this a1. When the recurrence relation is between this, then the obtain the coefficient of 3 in terms of a0 and get a series solution of 1 having a0 as arbitrary constant. Obviously, this solution of 1 having a0 as arbitrary constant solution is not the complete solution. Because of that, the given equation was the second order ordinary differential equation. So after solving this, we got the two part of this equation. One, two arbitrary constant will be there. Because of that, as it was a second order ordinary differential equation, we know that what is the order of the differential equation. After solving that, we have got that many arbitrary constant. As it was the second degree, but here we are getting only the a0, so it is not a complete solution. So here Frobenius is given some problems. Like that, obviously solution is not the complete solution of 1, as the complete solution must have two independent arbitrary constant. Why two independent arbitrary constant? Why it is two independent arbitrary constant? Because of that, the original given differential equation was the second degree. So after solving it, this is the fundamental theorem of solving differential equation. What is the order of the given differential equation? After solving that differential equation, we got that many arbitrary constant. But previously we are having only the a0, so it was not the complete solution. Obviously, this solution is not a complete solution of 1, as the complete solution must have two independent arbitrary constant. That method to obtain the complete solution depends on the nature of the root of the initial equation. So there depend upon the nature of the root of initial equation. Is it understood? Hello? Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Is this one understood?
Yes, sir. But give me some example with a question.
At first, we have to understood which is our required thing.
Yes, sir.
After that, we have to take the example.
Yes, sir.
So there are the case 1. If the roots m1, m2 of the initial equation are distinct and not differing by an integer, then the complete solution is given by y equal to c1 y m1 and y2 equal to, actually it is the value of y at m equal to m1. Y m1 means value of y at m equal to m1, and it is value of y at m equal to m2. So y equal to c1 y m1 plus c2 y m2. Here the two arbitrary constants c1 c2. It is the feasible solution. Because of that, it was given differential equation was second degree, second order, sorry. And roots are distinct and not differing by an integer. What does it mean? Distinct and not differing by an integer. That means one of the root is integer, another root is fraction. Suppose one root is 3, another root is half. Then difference between these two roots is 5/2, which is not an integer. Is it clear? What is told here in case 1? If the roots m1, m2 of the initial equation are distinct and not differing by an integer, that means both of the root cannot be integer. Because of that, we know that for any two integer, difference between any two integer is an integer. So one of the root is integer, another root must be fraction. Then the difference between them will be not an integer. Is it clear? What I am said, it is clear. Hello.
Sir, please explain the case 1 and case 2 once
Case
again.
1 means initial equations are distinct and not differing by an integer. That means if m1 equal to, suppose m1 equal to 2 and m2 equal to half, right? Then the
Yes, sir.
difference between this m1 and m2 will be 3 by 2. 2 minus half
Yes,
is
sir.
equal to 3 by 2, which is not an integer. So case
Yes.
1 clear cut told us both of the roots will be not integer. Because of that, we know that difference between any two integer is an integer. So one of the root must be non-integer. That means fraction. Is it clear right now?
Yes, sir. Case 1 will
If
be clear.
one root is integer, another root must be fraction. Then the difference between them cannot be an integer. But if we take both of the roots are integer, then we know that difference between any two integer is an integer. So one root must be integer, another is fraction. Then case 1 is included. Is it clear? Is it clear right now? If any doubt is getting on, please tell me. I just want to use my level best to understood you. Hello? Is it clear case 1?
Yes, sir.
Now we are going for case 2. If the roots of m1, m2 of the initial equations are equal, when m1, m2 both are equal, there may be the integer, may be the fraction, but they are equal. Then complete solution will be C1 y at m1 and C2 del y del m at m2. So second part will be del y del m at m2. Both are roots are equal. So two cases are there. Now number case 3. Case 3 is given that the roots m1, m2, where m2 greater than m1 of the initial equations are distinct and differ by an integer. That means both of the roots are integer. Case 3, both of the roots are integer. First one was both of the roots were not integer. That means they are not differing by an integer. Case 2 was both of the roots are equal. They may be integer, they may be not an integer. Now case 3, if the roots m1, m2 of the initial equations are distinct and differ by an integer, then we consider the following two subcases. Right? So m1, m2 both are integers. If sum of the coefficient of y series become infinite when m equal to m1, if for m equal to m1, m1 was the lesser one, where m2 greater than m1 is given, then replacing a naught by b naught into m minus a1. Because of that, earlier when we solve it, a naught was present, but then we have to replace this a naught by b naught into m minus m1 in y, and getting the complete solution as y equal to c1 into y at m1 plus c2 into del y del m at m2. Look at here, it is del y del m. Here it is y is partially derived with respect to m, not x. Hence, here the solution corresponding to m equal to m2 is a constant multiple of the above solution. And if one of the coefficient of y become indeterminate when m equal to m2, say, then the complete solution is given by putting m equal to m2 in y, which contains two arbitrary constants. The solution obtained by putting m equal to m2 is a constant multiple of the above solution. So both of the cases, one is the constant multiple of the another solution. When roots, both of the roots are integer. So we have to remember these four cases for Frobenius method. So in the next class, I'll give you the example against case 1. Here one example is given. We can easily find out it. So in the next class, I will explain with an example for each of the cases. Case 1, case 2, case 3A, case 3B. But at first we have to recover how the theory part we can cover it. It is your task to recover this theory. Now tell me if it is understood by you people or not. It is not that much easy like previous ordinary differential equation. Here it is a series solution. You have to take one infinite series from this solution. Please tell me, is there any ambiguities? Anyone? It is for open forum. You can ask me any kind of the question, and only you don't ask me that, sir, give an example. Right now, I will not give an example. In next class, it is your task to understood the theory. If you do not know the theory, then you cannot solve any kind of this series solution. Theory is the most important part for this one, and this theory will be required everywhere for series solution. That's why I am tracing here. This Frobenius method is very, very important for you people. If you don't know this Frobenius method, then you cannot proceed for any kind of series solution. Actually, most of the cases you got this kind of the thing that where x equal to x0 is a regular singular point. When it is regular singular point, then you have to use this Frobenius method. And on that case, this kind of the theory is required. If you are not much more enough in your theory part, then you cannot proceed any problem. Is it understood by everybody? Those theory is explained. It is only the 2 pages. I am explaining it 6 to 7 times. Yet, if it is not understood, please tell me where you are getting the problem. Please tell me.